a video on the sell-by dates and use-by dates on milk. So over Christmas someone left some milk in one of the fridges at work, and it was 2 weeks past its sell-by date, and I tasted it out of interest because the milk container hadn't blown, so it hadn't started to ferment, so no carbon dioxide was being produced by any kind of bacteria. It hadn't turned into yogurt. So I tasted it and it was fine, and it had been open for at least 2 weeks. So I was kind of quite astounded that the milk was still drinkable after 2 weeks and it had been opened. It had been kept in the fridge, and the fridges at work are a little bit colder than domestic fridges, but it was still okay. So I kind of thought we're gonna have to do a little bit of experiment, and we're gonna have to see how long milk lasts past its date. So I bought these on Friday. I can't remember the date on Friday, but I know that was Friday. It's Sunday today, and Sunday is the 29th. 29th maybe, or 28th. Oh, I don't know. I should really check. But anyway, these are the 5th of February. I'll check actually. Yeah, it's the 28th. It's the 28th date. So, 8 days left on these. So I'm going to keep them as long as possible. I'm going to see how long they last. I'm going to open one now, and then we'll see if it was just a fluke, or if it actually is going to be okay in 2 weeks' time. So we'll be back in 2 weeks to see if this milk is still okay. Right, we are on the 3rd of February. So this has been open about a week. I think it opened last Saturday or Sunday. Maybe it's been open 6 days. Anyway, so and the other ones are still in the fridge. It's not blown or anything like that. It looks fine. Does that one? Let's have a taste of this. It will be fine because I've had milk in the fridge open for 5, 6, 7 days before, and it's fine. So it should be okay. Yep, that's still perfectly fine. Nothing's going on. There's no what we call it. It's not turning into yogurt. It's not clumpy. It's smooth. It's fine. So we're back in another 7 days or 6. We'll see. I've just had a thought. Obviously, every time we open that milk, we let in fresh air. Well, like fresh air, as in not like you're outside fresh air, but air that's going to have bacteria in it. So potentially, every time we open it, we're introducing more bacteria. So maybe that milk was okay for two weeks past its sell-by date because it hadn't been opened. So let's take another one of these, open it, put that at the back of the fridge, and that one we'll just leave like that, and we'll see how long that one lasts as well. Do we need to write on it? We probably need to write something on it. Hang on. Right, just so there's no confusion, we'll put a line on the top of that one, then we know, and on the side as well, because we could lose the top, couldn't we? So we know that one we opened, and we'll see how that is in another week's time. No, we won't. We'll leave that for 2 weeks and see what happens. We'll use that as a bit of a control. Yeah, and then we might do some ones with the other ones as well. Might open, but anyway, I'll have a think. I'm going to go swimming, so I'll have a think while I'm swimming about what we're going to do. But that one we'll definitely check in. We'll check in 2 weeks, and then we'll kind of know, won't we? Yeah, because it's almost at its date. So in 2 weeks' time, that'll kind of replicate not the experiment, but what happened before with the milk. Yes. Another week has gone by. We are on the 12th of February. So these are dated the 5th of February. So they're certainly past their sell-by date. So no bloating in the container, so there's not fermentation kind of happening. I'm sure this was the one that was opening and testing. I'm sure it was. So it's still, there's no coagulation. Coagulation, is that the right word? It's not turning into cheese or yogurt, for want of a better word. And then that was the one that we opened, and then we just left the top, put the top back on. So there's no fresh air getting into there. So do I need to explain this again? I probably will. So if we kind of think about if we're making a sourdough, we kind of need the flour and water exposed to the air, because in that air there will be yeast, and by mixing the flour every couple of days, we take the yeast that lands on top of the flour and water mixture, and then we add that into the flour and water mixture by mixing it, and therefore we're adding more of the natural yeast into it. So the same principle with this. If we keep taking the top off, then more natural bacteria is going to get into the top of that. And then obviously over time, because there's more bacteria, it will grow quicker, because the more you add of something to it, like a bacteria, the more it will grow. So cells divide in half, and then those cells divide in half, and then those cells divide in half, and that. So if we had 4 cells when there was only 1 cell, that's going to divide at a faster rate and turning something off quicker. So by keeping the lid on it, we're not introducing any new bacteria or yeast to it. So how's this taste? Smells alright. Yep, still fine. We'll be back in a week. We are on the 21st of February today, and these are dated the 5th. So, work that out, like 2 weeks? Yeah. Or, no, over 2 weeks old, or past its date. So, that and smells alright. Just starting to slightly turn. It's gone creamy. So it's creamier. Let me just get some of my milk out that I'm drinking at home. So let's do a comparison. It's been out of the fridge for 10 minutes. That might have made a little bit of a difference, but how does this compare? Yes, there is definitely a taste difference, but 2 weeks past its sell by date. It's pretty impressive. Yeah, so it's started to change flavour. It's not off, but it's certainly different. There's no blowing. It's not kind of started fermenting in the bottle or anything like that. There's just a slight taste difference. A little bit creamier, not like a fermented or off kind of flavour, but just slight flavour difference. So we'll start looking at this on a more regular basis. So we'll do this in maybe 3 days time, something like that, and kind of see what's happened. Now obviously, like I said before, obviously every time we open it we're introducing bacteria to it, and also because of the shape of the bottle and we're taking milk out of it, there's going to be more surface area in the bottle. So if you imagine, if it's full to the top here, that's a surface area of that, but once we get down to the sides, that's a larger surface area. So that's more surface area for any bacteria or yeasts in the air to land on a surface, so there can be a higher concentration of bacteria. So that's going to be a contributing factor as well. But still, 2 weeks is pretty impressive so far, isn't it? Now on the 28th of February, so it's 3 days, maybe 4 days. No, it's 25th, wasn't it? Yes, it was 25th. So we're now on the 28th. Let's just have a taste of this milk again. Let's have a smell. Yeah, it's not just the regular smelling milk anymore. There's a different smell to it. Yeah, it's still got that. No, it's not condensed milk, is it? It's evaporated milk. It's got that evaporated milk taste to it. It's on the turn. It's still alright though. It doesn't taste sour. It's not lumpy or anything like that. So, personal use, I think that's okay. I think this experiment's going to go on. I'm going to carry on doing it until it actually tastes sour. That's what I'm going to do. But I think for work and for feeding to other people, I kind of say 2.5 weeks. 2.5 weeks for it to be past its best before date. I think that's pretty safe. That's pretty safe and pretty sound guidance to milk. You know, as long as you're not opening it every kind of day. But for personal use, I'm still fine with it. What was that? 3.5 weeks, say. You know, so I think that's okay. But I'll carry on, and we'll carry on seeing how long it takes to actually taste sour and inedible. That's what I'm going to do. Yes. I was thinking about this milk, and I was kind of thinking that we should open one of the ones that are that I haven't opened, that have just been in the fridge. Because I bought 5, so we should open one of these, see how it is. Now the other one, which I tasted yesterday, so now on the 29th of February. It's a leap year, so we're on the 29th of February. So will this taste like evaporated milk? Will it have changed kind of flavour? Because it's the first time we open it, and we can put on 2 lines to know that this is the one that we've just opened, and we'll keep it in the fridge. It's got a little bit of evaporated milk flavour to it, a little bit. So when I first noticed last week that the milk that I'd had open for 3 weeks, 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, I'd started to take on a evaporated milk kind of flavour. It's got that kind of flavour to it. It's still fine. So we know that we can have milk open for in the fridge, not opened for 3 weeks, and it still be fine to drink. I'm not sure how long it's going to last, but if you were to open it and use it all straight away, like if you're going to make some custard or put it in a soup, it would be fine to use. Right, we are on the 3rd of March, so we're coming up to a month past its best. Although it's not, well, we're a leap year this year, so it's 28 days. So it's not really kind of like a month calendar-wise, but not date-wise. That's what I'm going to say. So that's how I tasted this one. This is the one that's been open for a while. I can just see there's some waves in that. So that looks like it's starting to probably go off. It's just me wiping my finger, was that? Still alright actually. It's still alright, but I could see that it looks like it's just started to go a little bit, like it's splitting. Maybe that's a little bit, that's doing a little bit the same. Or maybe it's because I've got it in a spoon, maybe it was always doing that. That's still okay. That was the one that we don't open very often. And then this is the one that we opened last time, just to, because it's been sealed for the entire time, just to kind of give it a different kind of look. How does that look? It's just not as homogenized. Still tastes okay though. Yeah, so I was talking with someone about this experiment, and I remember when in the UK we used to get pints of milk, glass bottles delivered, and this milk did not last very long at all. You know, like 4 days in the fridge, and it was starting to go off, type of thing. So you had to drink it quick. Knocking things over. But obviously, this this day and age when everything is a lot more sterile and controlled in the manufacturing and packaging of milk. You know, like it'll be all sterile environment, and there won't be no humans are going to be touching it, sticking their fingers in it. Nothing's going to fall in the vats. There won't be any vats. It'll all be inline engineering. So I think that's right. Line engineering is when everything goes through pipes. So there's no kind of like big holding tanks or anything like that, and things get mixed in pipes. So it will probably be homogenized and then go straight into the sterile containers with a sterile lid on in a sterile environment where there's not much bacteria in the air to stop it kind of going off, or it might not even come in contact with the air when it's put in the container. So the air that you get in the top of the container before you kind of open it actually might be sterile air. Thinking about like bags of salad it's not air like oxygen and carbon dioxide and nitrogen in a bag of salad. It's a gas that stops it from going off. So it might be the same in milk as well. But anyway, seemed fine, okay to drink. Not as nice as they were when they first opened, but still okay. And we're coming up to a month, well, 30 days. But anyway, so we shall carry on until I get bored. So we are on the 5th of March. So these are now older than 28 days because I bought them before the date. So they're probably like a month and a week old, something like that. So let's just give this one a try. Spilling it everywhere. Yeah, it's still got that. It looks like it's the cream's splitting out of it. Yep, that's gone. That's gone. Let's just double check with a bigger taste. Yeah, that started to taste sour. That it's not sour, but it's started to it's turned the corner of being off. So that's that. That was that one. Let's try that one. So this was the one that we. This was the one that we opened the other day, wasn't it? That hadn't been open. It had just been in the fridge and hadn't been open. How does this taste? That's still okay. That's still okay, is that one. And then this was the one. I need another glass. I've got another glass. So this was the one that we opened at the same time but didn't open on a regular basis. And, well, maybe it wasn't. Maybe it wasn't at the start of the video. But it's the one that we haven't opened. That's been opened that hasn't been opened continuously like that one has. Yeah, that one's gone as well. So from this we can deduce we can get like a month past the best before date if we're not to open it. You know, pushing it, but we'll get it to a month, and that's fine to drink. Is that use it in one go? You know, but you could make some custard out of that, put it in a soup, and no one would kind of notice. Oh, I'll turn it into cheese. But anyway, so that's that. And then these, do you know, once they've been opened, you get a good 3 weeks out of them. You get a good 3 weeks of them being in the fridge and fine tasting. It's only now, a month after their best before date, that they've started to turn. And we've opened that one on a regular basis. So there we go. An interesting experiment. Who would have guessed that the milk would have been fine 3 weeks past its best before date and a month past its best before date if we didn't open it? That's interesting. It's not a success, is it? But it's interesting. An interesting little experiment. And, oh god, it's been going on for a month. And a longer video than it needs to be. I should have just cut it all down. But anyway, I needed to kind of think my way through things as well. And that's much more of what I'm interested in, thinking why things happen rather than just, well, the milk's one day past its best before date, so therefore we throw it away. You know, no, that's not good enough for me. But anyway, there, interesting.